Look up. The sky above you is something we tend to take for granted. Air, atmosphere, sunlight. It belongs to no one in particular, which means in regulatory terms it belongs to everyone and to no one. That ambiguity matters more than most people realize, because since at least 2022, private companies have been releasing reflective particles into the upper atmosphere above the United States. Their stated goal is to reduce sunlight reaching the surface, to cool the planet. The technique is called Solar Radiation Modification, and as of May 2026, no federal law prohibits it. Solar Radiation Modification, or SRM, is a category of climate intervention techniques that aim to cool the planet by reflecting a portion of incoming sunlight back into space. The most studied approach is called stratospheric aerosol injection. The method involves releasing fine reflective particles, typically sulfur dioxide, into the stratosphere between 6 and 30 miles above the surface. In theory, this mimics the cooling effect of large volcanic eruptions. The 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo cooled global average temperatures by approximately 0.5 degrees Celsius for nearly 2 years. In practice, no large-scale deployment has ever been authorized, tested, or regulated by any government on Earth. But small-scale deployment is already happening. Make Sunsets is a startup founded in 2022 and based in California. Their business model is straightforward. They release sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere using weather balloons, and they sell what they call cooling credits. Currently priced at $10 per gram. As of early 2026, the company reports having released particles equivalent to offsetting the warming impact of millions of metric tons of carbon dioxide. The science behind those claims is contested. Make Sunsets is not the only company in this space. Stardust Solutions has raised approximately $60 million in venture capital to develop proprietary atmospheric particle technology. Their approach has not been disclosed publicly. Other entities, including academic groups at Harvard, MIT, and the University of Washington, have proposed atmospheric experiments. Some have been canceled due to public opposition. Others continue under research permits. The common thread is that none of these activities require federal authorization in the United States. If this is the kind of pattern you want to see exposed every Thursday, hit subscribe. In February of 2026, the Government Accountability Office released a report on weather modification oversight in the United States. The report's central finding was that no single federal agency has clear authority to regulate solar radiation modification activities. The EPA's jurisdiction covers air pollution, but does not cleanly extend to particle release at altitudes above commercial flight paths. The FAA regulates the aircraft used in some deployments, but not what they release. NOAA conducts research, but does not regulate private actors. To deploy reflective particles into the atmosphere from a weather balloon, a US-based company is required to file a NOAA Form 17-4. The form is one page. It requests basic information about the planned release. It does not require approval, environmental review, or public comment. Notification, not authorization. Several state legislatures have moved faster than the federal government. In 2025, Florida passed Senate Bill 56, prohibiting the release of substances into the atmosphere for the purpose of weather modification. Tennessee passed a similar law the year before. As of May 2026, at least 7 other states have introduced comparable legislation. At the federal level, no comprehensive bill has passed. Hearings have been held. Studies have been commissioned. Authority remains unclear. The scientific community is not unified on solar radiation modification. Proponents argue that targeted atmospheric cooling could buy time while emissions reduction policies take effect. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has acknowledged SRM as a potential tool, while emphasizing that it is not a substitute for emissions reduction. Skeptics raise several specific concerns. The first is termination shock. If atmospheric particle releases were to stop suddenly, suppressed warming would return rapidly, potentially over a period of months rather than decades. Climate models suggest this rebound effect could be more disruptive than gradual warming. The second is regional asymmetry. Atmospheric particles do not distribute evenly. Modeling studies indicate that SRM could shift monsoon patterns, alter precipitation in agricultural regions, and produce uneven effects across hemispheres. The third is governance. There is no international framework for who has the authority to modify the atmosphere, who bears liability for unintended consequences, and who decides when an experiment ends. The fourth is irreversibility. Once particles are released into the stratosphere, removing them is not currently possible at scale. Solar radiation modification is increasingly attracting commercial investment. Stardust Solutions has raised approximately $60 million from venture capital firms. The company has not disclosed its investor list publicly, though regulatory filings indicate involvement from several prominent climate technology funds. Make Sunset's reports revenue from cooling credit sales, primarily to corporate buyers seeking carbon offsets and sustainability claims. The company has not disclosed its full revenue figures. Several philanthropic organizations have funded SRM research. The Open Philanthropy Project, the Simons Foundation, and the Quadrature Climate Foundation have collectively committed tens of millions of dollars to atmospheric research. The carbon credit market, which provides commercial incentive for cooling credit sales, exceeded $2 billion globally in 2024 and continues to expand. There is a financial structure forming around solar radiation modification before the regulatory framework exists to govern it. There is a pattern in how new technologies have entered American life over the past 2 decades. Deployment first, regulation second. Social media platforms reached billions of users before consumer privacy laws caught up. Cryptocurrency markets generated trillions of dollars in transactions before tax frameworks fully addressed them. Generative artificial intelligence is being integrated into government, healthcare, and education, while legal frameworks remain in draft form. Solar radiation modification appears to be following the same trajectory. Activity is occurring, investment is flowing, companies are operating, regulation is incomplete. This is not a question of whether atmospheric intervention is good or bad as a climate strategy. That is a separate scientific debate. This is a question of who decides, who authorizes, who is accountable when something goes wrong. As of May 2026, those questions do not have clear answers. 3 companies are operating in the atmosphere above your head. Federal authority is unclear. State laws vary. Funding is flowing. The sky used to be a shared resource. It is increasingly a market. The Dark Vault opens every Thursday. Subscribe, because the next story is already being built without you knowing.